So I finally saw Stockholm. The film starts out with a guy trying to convince a girl he met at a party that he's in love with her. She refuses to even talk to him at first, but he doesn't give up, and the story continues in a long and interesting conversation between them, during which he starts managing to gain her trust. And that's pretty much all that the film is about. I happened to come across Stockholm when it won the main prize for Best Film at the Transylvanian Film Festival, which is held annually in June in my hometown. I didn't get a chance to see it back then, but luckily it resurfaced this week in my local cinema, so I decided to go and watch it. And boy, I'm so glad that I did. Now I have to admit that I have only seen 5 out of the total of 12 films that were in the competition, despite searching for the ones that I didn't manage to see. You know how it is with these smaller festival films, they can really be a pain in the ass to find, if not near impossible. Now I am not here to declare that this film is the absolute best out of the bunch. Other films which I saw like Fish and Cat, Blind, and Still Life are all exceptional, and even outshine Stockholm in certain aspects, especially cinematography-wise. But when it comes to the script, I can definitely understand why this film has been a favorite among several film festivals. Boy approaches girl, boy wants to seduce girl, and basically the whole film is the conversations that take place between the two of them. Sounds a lot like a rehash of Before Sunrise, doesn't it? Even though it's what it might appear to be at the first glance, don't worry, because it's definitely not. This movie actually had several twists and turns which I was not expecting, precisely because of the fact that during the beginning of it, it doesn't really come across as anything more than just your typical romance film. But as I mentioned, the script is very well thought out, and it just goes to show you that the most important aspect of any film is for its characters to feel genuine. And in a film like this, where it's nothing else really happens, it's just two people talking, that's mostly dependent on the dialogue. The lines these characters have to say is going to be the decisive factor in whether I'm going to be more or less convinced that these people are actual human beings. It's so good to see a movie that actually answers all of the questions it raises, while also maintaining a healthy amount of mystery about its characters. Of course, you don't get a whole biography about them. It would be foolish to even think that we needed one. But just the little things we ponder about during the beginning, like why is she so stubborn and unwilling to talk to him? Whether or not he actually loves her or is just pulling her leg in order to get her to sleep with him. All of these loose ends were mostly resolved in a way that seemed logical for the characters, but not predictable either. Now, I watched this film without knowing anything about it, and really that's the perfect way to see it. I think the trailer shows a little bit too much. So if you're interested in the film, don't watch the trailer beforehand. That's my recommendation. So I really liked it. And I usually like these types of films, where it's just like a couple of characters or very few characters talking in a room or in just a couple of locations, very few locations. It's really my type of film. And unfortunately it's not a very advertised film, even though it won some awards. It doesn't even have a poster on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, for crying out loud. But I recommend it, seek it out if you can. And I'm filming the next review right after I'm finishing this one, so basically see you in a minute. Now that's only in case you're gonna watch the next one after watching this one, which you're probably not. Nah, screw it. I'm a rubber man.